We live. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to that We Got Action podcast, episode 55, the double nickel, coming at y'all today. And we kind of got a little bit of a shorter episode today, but I still think we got some pretty good topics. We're gonna have a free agent segment headed by Vitor and Isaac. Are gonna really talk some big names, that are still up for grabs. Long time before the season starts, but again, grab those guys now. We got a list for top 10 QBs. And then we're going to talk about kind of this running back controversy that we're seeing right now.
Market.
Yeah, and just kind of, we'll get into that because I think we've got some good stuff we can talk about there. And then we're going to touch on some teams that we feel possibly have a chance to make a run towards a playoff spot for baseball in the second half of the season. I've got a little segment after that that's going to kind of segue and connect into next week where we talk about the trade deadline, but I'm kind of a buyers versus sellers. I got a list of some teams and we'll see what these two knuckleheads think about that. So anyways, let's run into it. Vitor, kind of take over for now. We got the NBA free agent segment.
So I wanted to just kind of go over some of the top remaining free agents and kind of discuss what we think they're worth in terms of money, and we can discuss, what you'd give them in 1 year versus what a long contract would look like, because obviously the numbers differ. 4 players I'm highlighting, to me, the 3 best remaining free agents, and one that's a little bit closer to home for us, but also an interesting case, especially if you've been reading the reports that came out today.
Yeah, some stuff that's popping
up. But we'll start at the top here. Christian Wood.
Wood.
He
big move to Dallas not too long ago, bro.
Yeah, slinging that wood.
Yep. Yeah. So what do we think Christian Wood is going to get? Reports are all that he has not seen above a veteran minimum. So far.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's not been offered more than a vet minimum. Wow. Obviously,
that's
reports are reports. Reports are reports, right? Now we have here he made 13.67 million last year.
Yes.
So what do you guys think he's worth? We'll start with if you're giving him a 1-year deal, what would you give Christian Wood?
It's tough because I don't know if he played up to 13.6 last year.
Yeah,
did he outplay like the 2 point whatever?
What's the vet minimum?
That's 2 something.
It's 2 something.
2, 3.
Yeah, he more than 2 something. I think he about an 8 mil, 9 mil.
You're right where I was thinking. I'm thinking
8, 9.
Yeah, 8, 9, 2.7 a year.
Yeah,
I was thinking 8 to 10 was kind of where I was at. So then that puts him in the year in kind of a 2 for 16, 2 for 18 sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially as a 1 year would make sense for a guy who, again, he's only 28.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a prove it deal. Can you can you really?
Yeah, and I think we talked about that
last deal of your career worth it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just going to be a 1 to 2 year guy bouncing around on different teams till he falls out of the league. But yeah, Isaac, I think we're kind of on the same page there.
Yeah.
I think 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there.
And I think he's super interesting because when he got traded from that end of that year in Detroit.
Dynamite.
I believe he was either traded or signed with the Rockets. I think he was traded to the Rockets, right? Or did he sign? I don't remember. He had a pretty good year for the Rockets too, at least numbers wise.
Yeah.
All right.
But it seems like for some reason for him, no matter what he's done, it seems that he was it's just never been like he's never seemed to get any of that like respect, especially coming from like the GMs.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I mean, he's a guy, he's not a great defender, but he can block some shots. He can put the ball in the bucket, from various positions. Like, there's not that many guys in the league who can do what he does at the level he does. He's not incredible, but he's definitely someone to me that warrants, to me, if it was a 1-year deal, I could see it being a little bit more bloated, right? 1-year deals sometimes do get bloated.
Well,
so I could see him going for like a 12, somewhere between 12 and 15 for a 1 year. But I think you guys are dead on for an annual average. If he's getting anything longer,
like 2 to 18.
Yeah,
see, to me though,
anything longer, you can see
to me though, a lot of the guys. So last year he averaged 16 points a game. Well, close to 17 points a game. But a lot of guys who in that range of the 16, that 15 to 17 point, getting about 15 mil a year, roughly. 12 mil a year.
Brown just got 2 for 45.
Right.
45.
Yeah, but for me though, the disrespect to say he's not above a veteran minimum, and like majority of these teams are playing pick and roll offense majority of the time. And Christian Wood is top 10 in pick and roll scoring. He's scoring about a point per possession with each team in the pick and roll. I think that's the whole thing. His game becomes more of a, yes, he's a little bit more of a liability with the bigger bigs in the NBA, but to have somebody on the floor who can shoot the three well, but also be able to run some pick and roll with your best point guard, I don't think Dallas used him enough in the pick and roll with Luka. I think that would have been more dominant, because when we even if we, I think your next question would be like, what's the best fits and stuff? Like I had like the Pacers, the Rockets, the Hawks. Like let him go
Pacers,
run with
I like the Pacers.
Let him run with like a Trae Young, and Trae Young could use him for a pick and pop instead of throwing it to him. The John Collins, he could throw it to Christian Wood instead.
Well, Collins got traded. And that's
so
Collins traded. I think it's a great pick.
And I think that's what's good for even whether it's Indiana or Atlanta. He slots in more at the 4 in both of those teams.
Yeah, and I mean Capella's a guy who does miss a chunk at least every season. So if you need him to start for you and play for the 5 for 15 games, 20 games, he can do that for you. And you can work your team around that. And he's going to play well with a point guard like Trae Young.
Yeah, and then with the teams that's not so much, yes, he can still be a spot-up shooter, but he needs to be somewhere where he is thriving in a pick-and-roll situation.
You got to have him doing both.
Have him doing
under
both.
40% for his career. I think he's 38 and a half, 38.
38.
Yeah, 38%.
And then he's shooting 50 from the field overall. That's efficient to me. Not a lot of people doing that with the type of game, the type of style he plays with. So that when you broke that to me, that's disrespectful to me. Like, because it's a lot of guys. Like I think what didn't Oubre average like 20 last year roughly? And it's like
he was pretty solid.
He was solid, but then even PJ Washington was solid. And these guys are all fighting for like $2 to $5 million, like a veteran minimum or qualifying off of that. To me, doesn't suffice the role they had played on the team the last couple of years.
I think what's making kind of a lot of those offers be lower is a sense that a lot of these teams have top guys on stupid high contracts. You know what I mean? Just the inflation of these big contracts, and they don't have enough to offer, but they want somebody like you want somebody like that in your team, especially if you're competing for a title. So a lot of these teams that are competitive also don't have that 10 mil to give to one guy. They're trying to give a little bit to Christian Wood, see if they can get him there, but then also have enough to go get somebody else. They don't want to spend 10, 12, 15 on just Christian Wood. And I think that's where you kind of see some of these teams maybe trying to slide that fast one there. But I think eventually towards the start of the season, he's definitely going to find
I think
nestle in any 8 to 12. I think.
Yeah, I think he gets that 1-year contract, and
maybe like you said, 15.
I mean, and if you look at a team, right? If you're looking at
it would be on a lesser team.
A team that needs just to get some cap, hit that floor.
Yeah.
He could get that bigger 1-year contract, try to play up to it and see what he can get
back to Houston, maybe somewhere like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking likelihood is he gets a 1 year or a 1+1 type of deal for around 8 to 10 is going to be. I think it's probably the most realistic.
But I could still see him like if the reports is true and he's getting is the veteran minimum, then I can see him sliding to like a real contender, like. All right,
at that point,
if ain't nobody gonna pay me,
I'm gonna go get that ring.
I'm gonna go get me a ring instead or something. Well, you do
Phoenix,
have to pay.
I was actually gonna say pick and roll. I mean, Chris Paul
or Golden State.
Chris Paul, they could use the size. They could use.
They don't got nobody over 6'9",
and that's a guy that that's some size that can actually shoot, and keep their space and work.
It's sitting in that system, right?
Yeah, I think with Chris Paul too, I think he'd play really well. So I think that's a good point. That's a fit that I like a lot for him if he does end up going for a minimum or close to it.
Yeah.
Hop on, use that Warriors link to transition here to Kelly Oubre. We mentioned him a little bit just now. To me, I think I'd probably have him as the number 2 remaining free agent. We'll get to who I think is number 1 next.
I like Kelly Oubre.
I like Kelly a lot. I think he's got a lot to his game. Has lapses of concentration and judgment, but we've seen that when he's on, he's a player that can impact both ends of the court. And on
6, 7, 8 threes in the game.
Yeah. And I mean, for that Hornets team that he's been on, like him and Terry had licenses to shoot, especially once Melo went out.
Yep.
They were just chucking it. Like that's the reality. So people see the low field goal percentage and they're okay, he's an inefficient scorer. Yeah. The reality is that's all they had. That was their offense, was him and Terry.
He literally had to take bad shots some possessions to just finally find a way to get good shots with LaMelo out. I still think that's another guy I think who's gonna be underpaid, and he's gonna be huge for somebody
100%.
next year. And you know who I think he should play with? Dallas. You know who Dallas? To me, Dallas, yeah, because the Dallas team that kicked my Phoenix Suns ass out the playoffs had a lot of two-way guys. Like we had Finney, a lot of like solid two-way guys. And this is to me, the epitome of your two-way guys that's left in free agency.
Especially with him, I think. Go ahead, Isaac. I'm sorry.
Especially with him being able to play both sides. He's scoring 20.2 on 30% from three. I expect the 3-point percentage to go up, but for him to still score 20 with him shooting that trash a game, to me, that's impressive. Like, you have to see that. He can go and get you 15 off the bench, simply. But to put him on the floor with a Kyrie and Luka, he can hide away and play in the background and play to his roles like he used to play in Phoenix and all these other places. He can be very dangerous on a team like a Dallas. That's the only team I like for him right now is Dallas to me.
Yeah.
Or the Cavs.
I get scared with Dallas just because of what you were talking about, the lack of concentration there.
Yeah.
I don't see like a out and out true leader at this point. I know they've got Kai and Luka, but you know, even Luka has lapses of breakouts. So I don't know. I'd be scared. I agree with the fit though, but just I would need, if they could reel him in 100%, that fit is crazy.
Yeah.
No, and Kelly's a guy you can, like his on-ball defense is good, and when he really wants to be, it's really good.
Right.
But
if they can harness
defense,
that,
he plays the passing lanes well. He can block some shots for a guy his side. Like there's no reason why he's unsigned. Like I understand that people might have some concerns over the personality and the focus and everything, but to me, I think ever since his Warriors stint where it was really bad, he seemed to have kind of turned a page in the way he kind of approaches things. He might not be that have that killer instinct that you'd want him to have with the talent that he has, but I think he's definitely a productive player, and he's definitely someone that would contribute to winning in a system that, especially like the Dallas needing wing players.
Yeah.
Like they have Josh Green and who else?
Phoenix again. He can go back to Phoenix too.
Go back to Phoenix.
And
shit.
I think
Cleveland can use him too.
Cleveland would be a good fit.
There's a lot of teams that could use guys
teams
like
that
him.
chuck threes. I mean, Milwaukee, Boston.
And he's the guy too, right? If you put him in the Maverick situation, Kyrie misses some games, Luka misses some games. You can have him step up and be your number two if you're looking for a couple games, right? You don't want him being your number two for a season, but for a few games, it can work. You can do enough. So, and if you want guys like that who, you can come off the bench, be a 6-man, or be your starting 3, or 4 in a small ball lineup. Or then you need him to, contribute a little bit more. He can give you that because he's done it before.
Yeah.
Right. He's played all these different roles already in his career. He's played the 6-man. He's played starter. He's played, number 1, number 2 option. So he's got experience in a lot of different roles. So I think to me, like he's a guy that his type of game fits what we talk about, like the modern NBA, really well. And I just don't see how he's not even getting offers right now.
Only 10, like we were saying, like I just double checked him and see if he was getting any offers. The only team that's looking at him is the Mavs and like Cavs. And I feel like those are two teams who need wing players. But for him not to be signed at all, and that's why I think we was talking about the previous episode. I think guys like a Cam Johnson signing like that $100 million deal.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks for these guys who's out left, because now it's like, do I really want to pay somebody like a PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre that type of money? And that's why I think it's falling it, because Kelly Oubre and them understand what they can bring to the table. But it's like, all right, am I going to give you that much money when I could try to build through the draft or try to make some moves down the line? Because don't nobody want to eat a contract for somebody who probably not going to be good in 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's still halfway to 28 too.
I mean, I'll say, 3 years. I think as of right now, at this moment in time, Cam Johnson is not a better player than Kelly Oubre. I think he's probably right there with him, and he's younger.
He's got potential
to overtake him.
Yeah.
But I think right now they're about equal. I think Cam's a little bit more efficient.
To being better. I think this season
I agree. But I think just right. Yeah. We'll have to see the breakout.
He's already started that.
But he was just doing that 20-point kind of pretty similar stat line, to be honest, just more efficient.
Yeah.
But again, system helps, right? Not playing in Charlotte, chucking up shots with Terry Rozier, it's definitely going to help your number look better. You mentioned him. To me, the best remaining free agent based on both on his ability and his potential. It's PJ Washington.
Yep.
I think again another guy,
a little bit of everything.
Yep. Yep, a little bit of everything. He doesn't excel at anything in particular, but he does everything. He can play. You know, he can play he's a little bit big, but he can play the 3 if desperately needed. Play that 4, and he can slot into a small ball 5 role. He's less than 25 years old. I think maybe him being restricted,
25 at the start of the season.
Yeah, him being restricted might be the biggest reason why he hasn't been signed yet.
Right.
Yeah, because
teams are just with restricted free agents.
Yeah, because if you pay him too less, Charlotte matches it. So it was a waste of doing it.
Yeah.
Helping Charlotte out. And if you pay him too much, you probably just took a bad contract in him if he doesn't live up to that contract. But for somebody shooting a damn ball,
the contract is $3 million for what he.
Well, that was what he made last year. Yeah, he was coming off his rookie deal.
So for someone like that, what are you guys thinking? 6 to 8.
I think he's a double-digit guy for sure, especially when you consider the age. Like to me, he's not a guy that signs a 1-year deal unless he's absolutely not getting the offers he wants and wants to prove it.
3.
But yeah, I could see him getting like a 3-year, like $40 million deal, similar to what Kobe got, kind of. Maybe something more incentive driven, where it's like a 3-12 a year, 3 for 36, but can go up to 40, something like that.
I like that.
I can see him getting that contract. I like Kobe, but was Kobe a better player than PJ last year?
No,
at least no. So I feel like that kind of like 13 mil, 14 mil a year mark is kind of where I'd expect PJ to be at.
Okay.
But yeah, this free agency has been strange because we've seen some of the biggest and worst contracts I've seen, like that Fred VanVleet contract. My Lord. But then we got guys who are contributing players who can't even get more than vet. Can't even get more than vet minutes. So, but I like PJ's game a lot, man.
I like it a lot.
He makes these plays on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, he's not spectacular.
Yeah,
at one specific thing, but again, he could be a huge glue guy for somebody.
Yeah,
that's
I think what's hurting him
making a run, or
I think what's hurting him is the rebounding numbers. To me, his rebounding numbers. I mean, he shoots the 3 pretty well, but like we just said, he doesn't excel in it. He does everything to me just right. He ain't excelling at it, but he does it. He can get it done to me. But for him, that he's averaging 50, he averaged 16 last year roughly. Same idea. He was playing with a Rozier, Kelly Oubre. He lost his guard throughout the season, and I still think he can thrive with the right system. I just think right now, Charlotte. I just think right now with Charlotte,
like Charlotte. Yeah, they do that. They be doing that to their players.
Yeah, and that's why I think if you get him out of there, he can blossom. He went from taking 10 shots to 8. Now he's shooting 13, and he still was like in that still 45 to 40% range from the field. I would like to see his defense be a little bit better since he's playing the 4. I mean, and he's to me a lot more agile than most of the bigs at the 4.
Yep.
So I think he has to be able to exploit that a little bit more, but he hasn't.
Yeah. His weak side defense and his off ball, his like passing lane, all the off ball stuff is really good. His on ball defense is definitely probably his weakest, I would say, trait.
Yep.
Yeah.
But for the 4-man to be averaging damn near 2 turnovers a game is a little iffy to me too. I mean, you don't even hold the ball that much, so you turning the ball over
again,
just about.
I think it is the system thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Charlotte was just so loose with the ball, like they don't have. I'm sure if you looked at maybe numbers when LaMelo was there, or when they have somebody that's actually.
Yeah, and I mean, LaMelo too was averaging like 4 turnovers a game or something like that. Yeah,
in my opinion.
And I mean, and then Kelly was probably averaging over 2. I think Terry was averaging over 3. Like the team turned the ball over a lot, and there was a lot of talk about the coaching throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
So I like PJ a lot. I think he could be a really big piece for a lot of teams. I would love to see the Bulls go for him because I think he gives that little bit of size boost without being that without compromising the fact that we want to have a fairly fluid system with spacing, especially with a guy like DeMar on the roster. You need to have bigs that can space the floor to help out. Otherwise, you got one guy at the elbow and one guy on the block. You got no more room. So I would love to see the Bulls, use that disabled player exception, dip their toe into the tax maybe to sign him.
Ooh, careful,
but that can only be on
asking a lot with that one.
That can only be on a 1 year if it's the DPE. So
it's cool, but to have, I will take it just because, to be honest, the Bulls are in that situation where it's prove it or get rid of it. To me, like either win or get rid of it. Because there's no reason to stay at the same level and then like, oh, we're going to jump it one day. Never going to happen. Because DeMar getting old, Zach LaVine getting restless in here. Vooch is Vooch. We've been trying to run Vooch out of here, and then not a lot of people can do what Vooch can do in the NBA. So you're just trying to run him out of here. And then we just signed a bunch of role players this offseason. So it's like, you choose.
If we're trash, I think we trade Zach.
You trade Zach.
Man. I've been getting his jersey for the last few years.
If we're trash, he's going at the deadline.
Another team that I think makes sense for PJ too is the Knicks, because I see him as a fairly similar player to Randall. So that way, when you take him out of the game, you can keep a similar.
Oh yeah, bro, they're bad when he doesn't play.
Yeah, him and Jalen both they desperately.
Is terrible.
Yeah, it's hard for them to play without having both of them on the floor. So I think it makes sense to get a guy who can back up Randall and do a lot of the stuff he can do. Maybe he's not going to give you the rebounding. But with a guy like Mitchell Robinson, who can play next to him at the 5, right, he'll be okay. Yeah, especially after trading Obi too.
Yeah,
so
I think they're gonna miss him, to be honest.
I like this, but my 2 teams I want him to go to though would be Dallas, and it will be because this team needs spotter. I say the Thunder. 2 teams who shoot the because these are 2 teams. PJ Washington is not a guy who's going to put the ball on the floor. Okay. He doesn't need to be doing that. He's not efficient when he has to dribble.
On folks, though.
He can yam on them, but like you got to catch him cutting. He's most of his game is spot up shooting. So I'm gonna stick him to a team that plays. Their style is strictly spot up shooting. Dallas last year, 26.8% of their possessions was spot up shooting, and you didn't want to use Christian Wood in freaking world, and he not that big of a. He's not to me. PJ Washington better spot up shooter than Christian Wood. I can use PJ Washington better than I can use Christian Wood in Dallas. And then the same thing that goes for the Thunder. There's so much going on in OKC that my boy can thrive when you can put him at the 4th spot or behind with Chet. Let him go do that. Chet can space out and get downhill and find him. I like it. Shea gonna get downhill and find him. Josh Giddey is the do-it-all for them for right now. He rebounds, assists, and he scored about 10 points a game. He ain't doing nothing special. 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 points. Get somebody on the floor that can help them score a little bit more. I like it for him.
I don't mind it. Yeah, especially because I think they're ready to go.
Yeah, and I mean he fits. He's 25. He's not going to be a guy, and he's not the signing that blows their timeline out
the water.
Old man. Yeah. I mean, actually,
and they got so many draft picks. Like you could get rid of him too. So get rid of him.
No, that's not bad. Yeah. So go on. You had your last pick.
Yeah, the last one
to talk about.
This one's the one. Yeah, this one's a little bit more of a home situation for us. But I wanted to talk about this one just because I've seen a lot of differing opinions on this, and I was talking to people at work and hearing different opinions. So I just wanted to bring up Ayo Dosunmu. He is coming off of his 2-year big deal that he negotiated as a second rounder. We have the qualifying offer at 5.2 mil, which he has not signed yet.
1 year, 5 mil?
Yeah, that's what the qualifying offer is. He made $1.2 million last year.
Surely he's worth more than 5 mil.
See, this is where this one's a really interesting one, right?
Surely somebody can grab him for more than 5 mil.
Supposedly the only team that has shown any interest is the Raptors.
Ah, fuck
right.
He fits their mold so hot. He literally
Lanky can't shoot.
Lanky mid-range guy.
Yeah, but he's to me one of the most polarizing players I've heard people talk about, especially here, obviously seeing him, because he was really good his rookie year, and last year he took a pretty big step back. He looked a little bit more hesitant to shoot, and when he wasn't hesitant, he was missing them bad. A lot of
there was definitely times when Kobe was outshining him, which was saying a lot for how spectacular he was as a rookie.
Yeah. So the qualifying offer is at 5 mil. Supposedly the Bulls are trying to get him on a multi-year deal for around that number.
Yeah,
that's been the reports.
2 to 3, 3. 4?
I think the rumors were 3 years that they were trying to get, maybe like a 2+1.
But then you're locked into 5 for 3 years for him. Does he want that?
No, that's exactly the situation. Of course he doesn't. Right, but has he outplayed 5 mil a year?
Right,
last year,
no, 2 completely different years.
Right, if this was a 1 year after his rookie deal, yeah, but after last year,
He about to say something bold. I want to hear it.
Gonna say I don't think he
didn't deserve it
even after his rookie year.
Yeah, not even after his rookie year. For somebody to be the Naismith Player of the Year coming out of college, and to be this hesitant on offense, by all means, he didn't deserve.
Which is crazy because he was a score first point guard in college.
I'd rather stick him at the point guard position. Not no damn Alex Caruso, but since he want to be so hesitant, we got to put Alex Caruso at the point guard position.
Well, we have Alex Caruso playing power forward position.
Power forward. Alex Caruso playing just about any position we need because we don't have it.
I'm not ready for this season.
And that's my whole thing. For somebody to be playing 40 minutes a game, roughly.
Oh my God.
Like he's logging heavy minutes in these games. And like he's shooting.
Yeah.
Barely touch. He about to shoot less than 30 last year for the three. We need 3-point shooting. Like Javon Carter probably just buried him if he do sign. That was another probably reason why he didn't sign back with the Bulls just yet, because he took Javon Carter, who numbers out there, and Kobe, who played right. Kobe played his minutes, numbers went up. Javon Carter played less minutes and still had almost the same identical numbers, just about
with better percentages.
So it's like for Ayo to be demanding, I don't know if he's asking for more. He doesn't deserve more than me. You can play defense all you want, but to be honest, your defense ain't even that high.
So is that from a Bulls standpoint, or is that just any team in the league you're not giving him 5?
Anybody shouldn't give him 5 right now. I don't think he deserves it. I think he needs to eat his qualifying offer. Okay. And if you want some more money, go play. That's my whole thing with a lot of these guys. They demanding more money, but not playing. Yeah, they're not playing for the money. So you can't. For me, for Ayo, you can't say we can't say defense when you still giving up 60% on 50% on threes. And 2-pointers. Okay, the best thing you doing is 3-point shooting. But that's just look how far it is from the basket. Outside of that, anything outside of the 3-point line, they cooking.
Yeah.
Less than 6 feet, 60% on him. Less than 10 feet, 57.8%. 2-pointers, 60. As you get further and further out, he's not earning that money, bro. I'm sorry, he's not earning that money.
He could play Trae Young every game. Maybe he'd earn it, but but yeah,
no, that's a tough spot.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are stuck on his first year, and they saw the potential, and they want him back. They want him on the team badly because we can't let him go. It's another young player that we're going to give up on too early.
That's because
he's from Chicago. He went to Illinois.
That's because Bulls fans are traumatized and delusional.
Well, and they also don't understand. People don't understand that sometimes players are not gonna grow until they get a change of scenery. Let's remember. Lowry played in Cleveland too.
Wendell
Lowry played in Cleveland. He was terrible.
He was trash in Cleveland too.
It took him 2 moves.
And then I want to know, the delusional aspect of this Patrick Williams shit too. This shit ain't gonna never work to me.
One more year. This is
the prove it year.
How many more years can we give him?
No. He's under contract.
This is his first year, full year. This was
he played his rookie year,
but that's got hurt.
Year. Yeah, got hurt in game 5 of his second season and missed 50, 60 games, something like that.
I give him a pass.
He'd been working the whole offseason with DeMar.
So this is technically his third year.
Jalen Terry did too. But
if he can get a shot,
but the issue is the way he played in summer league. His jump shot, he can't throw that motherfucker in the ocean if he wanted to. He
couldn't throw it to himself off the back.
Yeah.
Hey, did you not watch that last game?
Oh my
he
God.
had one good one.
He did have
one good one. They bet off
So what? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Reel it in.
Right.
What are we thinking in IO offers looking like?
If it was me, I'd be offering him a 3-year, probably 11 million contract with some bonuses that can get him up to closer to that $5 million a year number. But you know what I mean? That would be performance based. Shoot 36% or better from 3. With
do you maybe try to sweeten it for a 3rd-year option in case he outplays it?
For a player option, yeah, I think definitely.
See if it can get him to sign it.
I think that's if for him to sign a longer contract at a better price, he would need to have that chance to opt out to earn more money if he's proven it. And if he hasn't, then he can
back to rookie.
Yeah, and then he can opt back in.
I like
Write it
3.
out.
I like 3 for 12.
Yeah.
I like 3 for 12 or maybe 2 for 10 if they're desperate. But again, I think, like you said, we've made signings that have kind of proven that maybe if he doesn't accept our offer, that we're okay moving on.
Yeah.
So I would say, either I don't think he gets more than
Isaac getting that 2 for 2 train.
Yeah, I don't think he getting 11 mil. I think he eat this qualifying offer.
Isaac's about to look up how old a player has to be to qualify for the vetman.
Boy, hey, you just beat me to it. I was just about to ask y'all, can he even qualify for the vet? No.
Oh my God. No. That's funny.
But that's why I'm seeing it though. It's like his prove it deal has to be him taking this like qualifying offer back. And then prove to us that, like, dog, I actually got it, and bring some confidence back to himself. If not, let that motherfucker go.
Option.
I think that's the most likely scenario, like thing that happens.
Yeah, unless a team like San Antonio or something decides to take a chance.
Hey,
but
decent. But
yeah,
no, I think.
Then we gonna regret it.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers
winning summer league,
undefeated.
Imani Bates.
Did it for Cleveland.
Who the hell was the other one? Hold up.
Isaiah Mobley.
Isaiah Mobley, thank you. He won MVP.
28, man.
Yeah, he's a couple of Mobleys, man. That's terrifying. A couple of Mobleys. But
he's the one that can put the ball in the club.
Let's move on to some NFL talk. Let's just do the first one that's kind of been spicy since last week's episode. We talked about, or what's been being talked about, and the lack thereof deals being made for running backs. So we've got Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard all up for deals. What are they? Two of them got tagged. Pollard and Saquon.
I think all three.
Are all three franchise tagged?
I think all three are franchise tagged.
Either way, but so they're all seeking long-term deals, or they don't want to play under the tag is basically what we're looking at here. And okay, that's fair. So yeah, they all are. But they're all looking for long-term deals.
Yeah.
Obviously as a running back, you know that any game could be your last. They want some security. They've all, in my opinion, performed
above and beyond
up to the standards, especially a guy like Saquon Barkley, who's already had a major injury, kind of had a major injury and a half if you count the ankle sprain that kept him out like 6 to 8 weeks 2 years ago. But how you guys feeling? Feels a bit disrespectful, I would say. I think most people are all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. Well, apparently there was a quote, I think it was Bleacher Report, posted a quote from an anonymous NFL GM saying, I would rather draft a rookie and once his 5 years are up, go and get another one.
Which is
then pay
him. What's going on.
Yeah. And
we're
seeing this, like,
if not less, like sometimes it's guys 3 to 4 years they sign.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to sign a first round.
Unless you are
sign a later round guy to a lesser deal.
And you're looking at guys at the top of the game and their positions. You got Eckler as well, feels like he's underpaid and wants to
led the league in touchdowns 3 years running.
Yeah, he wants to extend his contract and rework it so he's making more money as well. He's not getting any traction on that. Supposedly the Giants and Saquon were about $2 million apart in both yearly average and guaranteed money.
Okay.
Overall. So, and I mean, for a sports team to look at $2 million of guaranteed money like
after
that,
you just played your quarterback 40,
and you're mediocre.
Mediocre, less than top 15 ass quarterback, maybe less than top 20.
After one good year too, bro. And that wasn't even that good.
One good year.
He wasn't even good throwing a fucking football.
Right. Good with his legs. Okay, throwing the ball
with his arm.
Anytime Saquon's been healthy, you've been a top 5 running back in the league. Anytime you're healthy, which has only really been a season and a half he's missed.
Him and Josh Jacobs though.
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs has been much more available and reliable. Obviously, Tony Pollard, anytime he's gotten the keys, has been unreal.
Yep.
So that's another guy. And then obviously you were just talking about Eckler again. He's got all the accolades and stats to back it up too. Obviously not a big yards on the ground, yards per carry guy, but just I mean, you got to
He's
score
a
points to win
utility
games,
guy.
and he's got a knack to finding the end
Score.
zone. So, yeah, it seems disrespectful to me. These are guys that, in my opinion, these are the guys that kickstart your offense. They're, when plays aren't being called, you consistently go to safe reads, just check down to these guys. You go to just runs up the middle to gain a couple yards. It sets the tempo for the offense. And again, three of these guys, I would say, are all dual threat guys.
That's
these
what
are
I was going to say too.
Do a hell of a lot more than just put the ball on the ground.
3 of these guys are probably the number 2 passing option or number 1 passing option on their team.
I'd say Saquon's 1, TP's probably 2,
yeah.
3.
Eckler
and then Eckler is probably 1 because the other 2 can't fucking stay healthy at the same time.
Yeah.
Between Mike Will and Keenan. Obviously the Quentin Jackson pickup might see some, but you get it. These are guys, they do more than just run the ball. It's
exactly
like guys that are so integral to their offense. And I think it'd be advantageous for them to maybe sit out and let these teams kind of be bad.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Le'Veon.
At what point are you saying, are you sitting out 2 to 4 games to let your team realize, okay, fuck, we suck without you?
Well, the thing is, the Monday was the deadline for long-term contracts.
Right.
So they can't sign a long-term deal now, I believe.
Yeah, it was like Lamar last year.
Yeah.
Like you have to now wait till the end of the season.
So
I think you can agree to terms, but
they can't sign a contract, so you'd have to play under the tag.
Yeah. But
you can sit out.
But these are guys who crush they only 4 years in the league and for Josh Jacobs, Saquon.
These 3 are all coming off of their first deals.
And
I think Eckler has had an extension but wants to restructure because
but even Eck gets you 800 in the ground, about 200.
Gets you 8 and 8.
8 and 8.
Honestly.
And it's things like that where you don't see that
tutties.
from rookies. You don't see that from rookies coming in. You don't. If I got an established running back, I'm going to run him until he can't do it no more. Look at Derrick Henry and the Titans. The Titans, bro, we keep paying you because you're doing it every year.
Until you can't do it, we got you.
Yeah, to me,
and that's a team. I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but with those guys being injured though, and still coming back from injuries, and then still producing the way they was producing, like a Saquon, you should be paying them. Saquon made your team last year. You can't pay him. The Raiders, you survived some of these guys because of Josh Jacobs. To have 16
multiple
50-point performances in fantasy.
Multiple.
I was
multiple.
on the receiving end of 1 or 2 of those.
You feel me? So it's just, to me, it just feel like it's very disrespectful. And I agree with Austin Eckler's quote this week. They just basically using him and throw him away. And they're not even using him to this fullest extent. They just using you. Le'Veon was a little different. You demanded that stuff. These guys deserted it. Le'Veon at the time deserted too. But
Le'Veon too we're not seeing the same disparity at the time with that, the disparity now between what the top running backs are getting paid and these guys are not getting paid is bigger than what was going on between Le'Veon and the rest of the league and everything at that time, right? A guy like McCaffrey, he getting paid like a top running back.
He get paid. He been hurt more than all of them.
Derrick Henry, same thing. Got getting paid like a top running back because he is one. Now you got these other top running backs who just want to be paid like a top running back, and teams are scared to commit to it. But I feel like there's this whole myth that running backs are the ones that, at any moment their career could go. That could happen to anyone in football.
Yes.
You can.
Well, I think the problem is that when you look at statistically speaking, the numbers dip after 27.
Yeah.
That's where they just don't want to pay them. But give them a 2-year big deal then.
Or front load the guaranteed money.
Right.
And then first 2
years
guaranteed.
My question for you is the numbers going down when they're primarily a one-dimensional back? That's the numbers going down? Because most of these guys are dual threats to me. So it's they can do more than just being ran into the ground into me. So is it more at 27 going down because that have been running the ball like Derrick Henry the last 4 or 5 years? Or is it just all right, he old and his number's not there now? Did he really lose a step type thing? That's my ordeal. Because these are guys who barely.
I think it's just wear and tear, honestly.
Yeah,
like
I think
for
when
me,
you look
like
at
Tony
the
Pollard,
Average body can only take so many hits.
Yeah,
but
you
like
look at
Tony,
the averages too. You're factoring in all the other guys as well. You're not just looking at the top tier.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I think the biggest issues were Gurley and Zeke, who both signed massive deals and then fell off right away.
Right, but this is Zeke's first poor year. Like he still was hitting.
Yeah, he was still getting great numbers. It was just a lot of the explosiveness was down, and
his first 2 to 3 years was
the explosiveness, the ability to burst through a hole.
Like if you just put numbers up there and didn't say it was Zeke, you'd probably still pick him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but even there, I felt like the earlier years of
Gurley got arthritis in his knees, bro. Like
that's early.
I think.
But my earlier thing was like, look how much Dallas used Zeke back then. It was games where they didn't even throw the football. Like.
Gurley was the same too.
Gurley was the same. So it's like, to me, with a Saquon, like if Saquon leaves New York, his career keeps going and he's still dominant because he doesn't have to carry a whole load. Tony Pollard's been a backup with less touches than all these guys. Touched 1,000 yards.
Yeah, that one definitely surprises me.
Touched 1,000 yards last season. So what wear and tear are we talking about? He's been a backup the last 2 years. So give him the keys and let him try it. So he should get paid. Josh Jacobs was hurt, got the keys, and still got more touches, showed you he can still do it all year. Hey, the man T can't do it no more. That's my thing. Like, it wasn't a drop-off yet for none of these guys yet. Injuries, and they still came back and showed you. That's what a drop-off should have came off at. Like, missing 2 years, 1 or 2 years.
That's actually a really good point.
Miss 1 or 2 years, you come back, and you still.
And now you're giving them even a full, like we talk about it every single time, you're giving these guys who are coming off injuries a full regular or off season to work on their game rather than rehab. It's a whole different story. I mean, you could see these guys could be poised for really big seasons.
And it's also like, if you're a franchise and looking at like the Giants, right? You just paid Daniel Jones $40 million a year.
That shit still irks me, bro.
Are gonna take away his
bro.
So bad.
That irks me so bad, bro.
Every time I hear it, I'm just like,
I remember when it was
so
happening,
bad,
I was seeing
bro.
reports. I was like, man, these reporters are losing their minds. And then it happened, and I was like, what? But yeah, you're gonna take away this guy's best option. You know that's gonna make your investment look really bad.
So bad.
If all he can do is run.
You want to talk about wear and tear? Danny Dimes going to be on the IL in fucking game 6. What? Like, wait, I wasn't told I was getting paid $40 million to carry the ball 20 times.
It's probably why they're
thought Saquon was back here.
Paid a running back $40 million.
That's exactly.
That's so funny. Raiders as well. You got Jimmy G, man. You gotta have a good running back.
Something, bro.
You need a good running back there.
Jimmy ain't mobile.
You need it.
I know you've seen it. And I don't want to see it anymore.
You need a good line. You need a good coach.
I can't stand that motherfucker.
You need a lot of good to make him look good. So,
hey, Tay gonna be crying by game 3.
Yeah,
they gonna ask for a trade. Send me to New York.
Okay, anything else?
Can they afford him?
Because I'm trying to jump into a position that does get paid.
Just start paying.
And I put money. Hey, I put money that my top 10 don't include that 40 mil making motherfucker.
Oh God,
no, me neither.
My top 18 probably don't. To be honest,
maybe Danny
had some young guns.
Maybe Danny would add Danny to the top 10. Maybe Danny
would put Danny. Okay, let's jump in. We're gonna kind of break down every week leading into the preseason. Top 10, the position play, basically the main positions we're looking at. We're looking at quarterback,
right and left ends.
We're gonna look at running backs. We're gonna look at wide receivers.
Yeah, let's go DNs.
We might touch top
DNs
5. I think we can go top 5 for the defensive positions.
Oh man, there's
corners, DNs,
there's a lot of good DNs,
linebackers, maybe.
Yeah, you ain't lying. That's my shit right there.
Safeties would be fun. But we're gonna start off with the hot one. We'll have Danny fill in next week, both his quarterback, and then let's do.
Or we can have him do something on the socials for y'all.
That too. We could have him put something up.
Little snippets.
But you'll see Danny's top 10 at a later date. Mm-hmm. And then let's do receivers next week. So we'll just call it right away.
Okay.
But yeah, so who's everyone's number 2?
Top 10 quarterbacks.
We don't need to start with 1.
I'll go first. So I'm going with none other than Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Of course, if anyone has anything else,
yeah,
you must be a Bengals fan. So Patrick Mahomes is number 1. I do have Joe Burrow at number 2, which is painful for me. Screw all of you. I still have Josh Allen at number 3. My number 4 is Jalen Hurts. My number 5, the man I still think needs to prove it, Justin Herbert. Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Jones got
till he shows. I mean, he kind of had a little bit of a step back last year, but again, the team wasn't great. Yeah. So until he shows me kind of what you guys been saying with Tom Brady into his last couple of years, till Aaron shows me that he's not that guy anymore, I'm still betting on him most days. I do have Lamar right behind him. Could flip flop that honestly, but yeah, Lamar's up there. He's at 7. This one for me got a little dicey after these. I feel like those top 7 for me are fairly clear.
Yeah, I think it's just the order that you can debate at that point.
I definitely think I went with Trevor Lawrence at number 8. I went with a healthy Tua Tagovailoa at number 9. And then Justin Fields, number 10.
Okay.
Honorable mentions are Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins, but both of y'all suck ass in the playoffs, so you can't make a top 10 doing that. At least Justin ain't never sniffed the playoffs, so we don't even know. But yeah, I'll take Justin. I think he showed a lot the last month and a half of the season last year that, regardless of the team around him, he can still put a really, really terrible team in a position to win multiple games. So yeah, that's what I got. I like that list. I think that list is good.
Yeah, I think you're going next.
Me?
Yeah. You're going next, yes, sir. Mostly because I got to pee. But
hurry up! All right, Isaac, bring it to me, baby.
All right. Obviously, number 1 is Kermit the Frog, Patrick Mahomes.
That's fair. I can't argue that.
2, I probably would have put him 1 if he didn't lose last season. But I'm gonna go Joe Shiesty at 2.
I know that's your boy.
Joe Shiesty at 2.
I know that's your boy. That OSU connect.
You know the deal. Josh Allen at 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Joshy.
I am not putting Justin Herbert in the top 5 at all. I'm going Lamar Jackson at 4. And I'm going Jalen Hurts at 5.
Okay. Wow. Really? Even after what Jalen did in the Super Bowl?
I'm just a Lamar Jackson fan. I think Jalen was more.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. It was really impressive in the Super Bowl. That's why he top 5 for me. I would have squeezed him, but I need to see a little bit more with his rushing game besides just the goal line.
Okay.
6 is where I got a little. This is where I got to start getting a little iffy because I wanted to either put Herbo or A-Rod, and I went Aaron Rodgers at 6. Then I'm gonna go Justin.
I'm gonna give you a huge shout out because you did what I couldn't do, and that's drop Justin Herbert. So
yeah, I'm gonna go.
You
Justin
guys, you know me. I'm not a big Justin Herbert guy. He needs to prove more.
I'm gonna go A-Rob at 6. We're gonna go Jay Herbo at 7. Yep. I really did F with the Trevor Lawrence, but Tua, if healthy, should be in the top 8, a little bit ahead of him. Just because
he might be higher, but
yeah, I think Trevor should be I think Tua should be higher, especially with him throwing 25 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. But I do got him at 8. T-Law at 9, and I'm gonna blow everybody mind at 10. I'm going with my OSU product, CJ Stroud. F y'all.
Oh, come on!
I don't even want to do it. And I ain't even being real.
You put Justin Fields there, so
that makes me as a Bryce Young fan look so bad right now. You know that? That makes me look so bad, but I'll take it. That's terrible.
An honorable mention, another OSU product is Justin Fields for 10.
I feel like you just punched me through the screen right there with that one.
Hey, I'm gonna get ate up in
one of those anime punches that hurts 4 different times.
About to get ate up in the comments. He put CJ Stroud. Yes, I put CJ Stroud.
Damn it. That's good. Okay.
You want to run that? You want to through that?
Yeah, just run it back really quick.
All right. So 1, we got. Damn, I just hold on. I gotta put my list back up. 1, I got Patrick Mahomes. 2, Joe Burrow. 3, Josh Allen. 4, I went Lamar. 5, I went Jalen Hurts. 6, we went Aaron Rodgers. 7, we went Justin Herbert. 8, who did I put at 8? Oh, 8, we went Tua. 9, we just went Did I put Trevor Lawrence? Yeah, Trevor at 9. And then my last one, I just put CJ Stroud at 10. With an honorable mention of Justin Fields, who should have been 10, but let's see.
All right.
That's crazy.
Well, first 3 I think are going to be the same. I got Pat, Joe Burr, and I got Josh.
Come on, let's go. Come on, Josh.
Number 4.
It's going to be number 1 at the end of the year.
I've been a big fan since college. I'm sticking with him. Justin Herbert.
Oh my God.
And then after Herbert, I'm taking Lamar.
What?
I'm taking Lamar. And then I'm taking Mr. Aaron Rodgers. The boat.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
Hold on.
The entire season last year?
Yeah,
Wait, say your top 5 one more time. Make sure I heard that correctly.
You got Pat, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Herbert,
Justin,
and Lamar. That's the 5. Then got Aaron. Now I got Jalen because he's done it 1 year. Once he does it another year, he's climbing up probably to that 4 spot. But I'm not giving that guy a top 4, top 5 spot after 1 year.
You sounded like Micah Parsons right now.
Then after Hurts at
that's the
7,
49ers at him.
After Hurts at 7, I think
Purdy.
I'm gonna go.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go with Tua. I think
That's
he showed
fair.
us a lot healthy. And I mean, he wasn't as bad as people made him out to be prior to this year as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm one of them people who did that. I take it back.
At 9, I think I'm gonna be going.
Brock Purdy.
No, I'm realistic here. He's done it for half a season. If I'm not giving Hurts his flowers for doing it for 1 year, I can't give Brock for doing it for half a season. But yeah,
Come on, boy.
I'm gonna go with T-Law. I like what I saw out of him this year. I mean, and 10, I'm very alone in this one. I'm gonna go Russell Wilson.
That's fair.
Because like I said, 1 year doesn't mean it all.
He's fringe for me.
Yeah, he's been a top 10 QB for a decade. 1 bad year isn't gonna, derail that completely for me. Now, if he does it again,
I really thought about putting him.
if he does it again, then yeah. And then my main honorable mention is Dak.
I just think he looked so bad last year. Russ did. That's why
he looked so bad last year.
Do it.
I'm trusting the rebound. I watched this man terrorize my 49ers for way too long.
So you drafted him?
Maybe as my second quarterback.
You ain't trust shit.
But he's definitely gonna rebound. I'm a late QB guy anyway, so he might be who I'm stuck with at that point.
Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, so that's what we got. Again, next week we're gonna cover some wide receivers. So look forward to big Stephon Diggs love for me. Yeah, he's my boy. But we're gonna hop into some MLB talk. This is gonna kind of wrap up what we're gonna go with for the rest of the episode.
Jesus.
But we're talking about some teams post All-Star break that have a shot of reaching the playoffs or possibly making a run at the chip. I've been going first for most of the episode. I know I told you on my team, so don't take it, please. But Vitor, you go ahead because yours is lame.
Yours is lame.
Mine
is lame.
Now,
Brock Purdy ass answer.
Hey, this is where I get to be biased because we're coming for that number 1 spot.
They've been solid.
That's my Giants for anyone who hasn't been following us for very long.
Yeah, right.
Now we've been
newbies.
Yeah, this season's given major 2012 vibes. I don't see the same end result.
12. Yeah. Bro, the team was actually established and already
that's what I'm saying. Yes, but it's the same way where we started off a little bit rocky and we started rounding into form come the All-Star break.
Is there.
Yes. And I'm just like, it just seems like every single day, every game, someone's making plays to make things happen. Kind of like 2 years ago as well.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, come on, this team is less nobodies than that
Matt
team.
Cain's not there. Tim Metzger's not there.
No,
No, Young Bum's not there.
We got Webby.
Buster's
We got
not
Webby
there.
and the best version
Crow's
of Alex
not
Cobb.
No hitters in perfect games aren't there.
Hey, Camilo's about to break the single season saves record for the Giants. So
okay,
yeah, but yeah.
So how do you hold off two teams that have been pretty scorching this year? Obviously, we know about Arizona and how they kind of came out the woodworks, but they've got a really young, talented squad, some solid pitching. Could probably be a team that maybe looks for pitching at the deadline if they want to compete. But more or less, how do you guys think you hold off the Dodgers, who are only going to get a little bit healthier year by year? I mean, day by day.
That's kind of been the question, right, for the last decade. Almost last like 8 years, 7 years.
Since 14.
Yeah. So with when it comes to holding up the Dodgers, the key thing would be to just win the series against them that we have left.
Yeah.
Right. And similar again to that 2021 year, which is we beat the overall I think we played. I don't remember how many games we played.
A lot more than you're going to play this year.
Yeah, I think we played 30. Was it 37 games?
It's usually in the stupid amount.
Yeah,
this year you're playing like.
I think it was 37 games, and we finished the season series 19-18.
Okay,
that
year usually doesn't happen. They usually.
Yeah, they normally. Yeah, do a number on us. But I think that would be the biggest key for us is to be able to win the divisional series that we have, because we've been taking care of business in most of our series, right? We're coming off a sweep against the Pirates. Yeah, we're currently in Cincinnati.
It's a big series too.
1-0 in the series, currently up in the game. And it's just kind of that. Just keep winning the. This is the way the 2021 team was. It was just about winning the series.
Yeah.
Right. It's win every series. Whether it was 2-1, 3-1. Right. Yeah. You just keep doing that. You keep making it
6-3, 8-4. That adds up.
Exactly. So that's just I think it's the kind of take it series by series would be the biggest thing, and don't be looking at this. Yeah. Right. Don't look at the standings. Don't look at the Dodgers. Focus on what's ahead of you. I would like to see us add.
So buyers.
Yeah, I would like to see us add a little bit. Obviously, my main goal for the Giants in the next year and a half were to be to throw everything at Ohtani. But whenever we throw everything at someone, they seem to go somewhere else. So
wow, that was really nice. But look at this shiny object.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're one of the best pitchers in the league, why not want to have a catcher that's one of the probably the most exciting young catcher in baseball?
That is very true. Good Pat Bailey.
But yeah, I would like to see us add maybe another starter, because after Cobb and Webby, it's been a bit of a nightmare. Yes. Our bullpen's been great. A lot of these guys are getting,
especially the back end. Yeah,
we got a lot of guys who have been playing really well out the bullpen, like in our bullpen games. But the pitchers, DeSclafani, Alex Wood, Shamanea, not great at all.
Wow, you're nice. That's generous.
So Disco actually started off the season as our number one pitcher after like the first 4 starts, and he got hurt.
And Webby's been pretty mediocre too recently.
He's picked it up,
especially
again.
On the road.
Yeah, well. We do play in a pitcher-friendly ballpark. But yeah, I'd like to see us add a starting pitcher and then maybe
a lot on the market.
Consolidate some of the outfield we have, because we have a lot of outfielders who are
Seems like it's never the same 3 every game either.
It's very a lot of outfielders who are all fairly replacement level.
Yeah.
You have Jock, who's an expiring, who I love Jock, and he's been huge for us, super clutch, big clubhouse guy. But if he's leaving after the season, you got to make something happen, maybe use him to get a longer term contract in there.
Right.
We have a lot of guys, like I said, guys who miss games too, like Conforto and Haniger. I would like to see just start building something that looks like we're going to, the day in, day outs on top of this whole platoon thing we've been doing.
Yeah. Set and forget type guys, rather.
Yeah. Just at least a few guys across the team platoon that you can, know, because you're going to have Pat Bailey catching most games, right? Every once in a while, Sable will catch because he needs to rest his knees. Tyro's going to be starting at second most games. Right now, JD Davis will be starting most of our games. You'll have Conforto in most games, but the rest of that lineup,
It's a lot of
been moving around. Casey Schmidt will probably be in most games as well.
He's solid.
But that's because he plays third and short.
He's solid.
And he started off playing like hitting 320 over his first month, and then I think he's down like 220. So I'd like to, maybe just a little bit more consistent bat and a starting pitcher that we can trust to then kind of keep the other guys in shorter stints, have them pitch, those like 2-3 innings, and then get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
that would be what I want to see, because
Okay.
I think this team's showing signs of 2021 and that kind
I like
of life.
it.
So
I will say the only thing is that you're lucky the Dodgers are not fully healthy.
yeah, but they're never fully healthy.
Exactly. Isaac, what do you have, my friend?
Seattle. I think we'll have a big second half. Okay, but they do need their best players to all. Big win yesterday, but good shit.
Also,
but I need my best. But for the first half of the season to head into the second half, I need all my big players to step up. So I need Julio to step up a little bit more. I need my Colton Wong. That was a waste of signing to me. It's non-existent the whole first half of the season. Yeah, it hasn't been. And so for me, I think they have to be in that buyer's market looking to add something at the second base. Like maybe going to try to get a Tommy Eden on a struggling Cardinals team. Like trying to get somebody like that to pull him over. But they will need somebody in the second base. But they need
France. It's gotta be
Ty France. Eugenio Suarez was batting really well in the first half a little bit, but he has to be better though. But then I look at my designated hitters. AJ Pollock is probably the worst designated hitter in the MLB right now. So I think you need more hitting for this team just so we can start scoring a little bit more. But that second base round to get Colton Wong up out of there and have him filling in on some days, I think they have to attack that. But you need your best players to step up down the second half. And I think that's an easy fix compared to having like multiple issues on team besides hit. You just need your best guys to hit better.
I was gonna say they've between George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo. Those are three guys that have been pretty solid all year, especially after taking a hit with Robbie Ray going out.
Going down,
a big loss. And then Brian Wu coming up for me is a pretty solid player that I think he's gonna probably be a pretty frequent starter. Honestly, I don't see him leaving the lineup even when guys get healthy going into next year. He's somebody I think that's going to kind of step in and do what Logan Gilbert's done the last year and really become an every 5-day guy for them.
Yep. And then
I agree with the buyers and the fact maybe find somebody that can get on base a little better for them.
Yeah.
Get another bullpen arm.
Shit,
I think for me it's go ahead. Yeah, fuck it. I mean, there's a lot of, I think a lot of teams this season for me there's a lot of teams that are right around the cusp.
Yeah.
There's if you're not the Braves, and honestly, if you're not the Braves, I would say the Rangers as well for me.
If you're the Braves, you might be.
But the Rangers could use pitching too.
Tonight too.
I would say the Rays, but the Rays are also falling behind, at least not as dominant as they were.
Yeah.
So I mean, Braves and Rays, but the Rays are in a much more competitive division. I think a lot of teams are looking for things, so I think they can definitely go out and get some bullpen arms. Maybe grab another everyday starter for that team to try to bolster that lineup. Again, it's just not a lineup that hits for average.
Yeah,
they're going to put up massive numbers because they've got Teoscar Hernandez, Eugenio Suarez, Ty France, Julio. These are all guys that are hitting massive home runs, but not consistently hitting for average outside of maybe like a JP Crawford. So again, the division is fairly open. They're probably not going to catch the Rangers, but the Rangers have also not been great going into the break. They've won 3 out of the break though. I think they're 4-1 out of the break.
Yeah.
But
5-1 here.
They're winning right now.
Yeah.
So I think this will put them at 4-1. But the Astros are vulnerable again. They haven't had Yordan. Guys are in and out of the lineup. The pitching for the Astros has been pretty abysmal outside of Framber Valdez and the back end of their bullpen. The Angels obviously are torn on the whole Shohei thing. So it feels like the division is still up for grabs. I mean, the Mariners haven't been what we were expecting this year. They're only 8 back. So
only 8 back, and only 4.5 back in the wild card. So exactly. I think they can make some runs, especially with the teams that's ahead of them. all kind of struggling to start off the break a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think they can pull it off. They just need those big, like I was just saying, they just need those bats to get going. And
All right. I like that. That's actually really good. Now, when we dove into that a little bit, I kind of agree with you a little bit more because I didn't really agree with you to start, but I think it's big just having 3 starters that are consistently there every outing is big for me. I'm going with the Toronto Blue Jays. They've already kind of chipped away a little bit at that lead that the Tampa Bay and Baltimore have had, especially mainly Tampa Bay was pretty chokehold on that real tough AL East. But Tampa Bay or Toronto for me, led by Bo Bichette is their main guy. Whit Merrifield is number 2 in average, but they've just had some fairly mediocre years, I think, especially when you're looking at Vlad Guerrero, who you're expecting to hit around 300 and have a lot more homers than he does. And the pitching for me is also pretty tough. Outside of Gausman, I haven't really liked too much of what they've had. Obviously, we know the struggles consistently with Alek Manoah, who came back and had a pretty solid outing yesterday, or his last start, but I think today was mediocre.
4 earned in 3 innings.
It was the 5 walks.
5 walks, 4
walks.
earned in 3 innings.
But
that's again, he can't pitch at the Rogers Center. Away from the Rogers Center, he's been good enough at least. But
I'm seeing just a team that has, in my opinion, a top 5 dangerous lineup in baseball between Springer, Bichette, Guerrero, Chapman,
who's been
Merrifield.
He has a while now.
Terrible. Whit Merrifield, you're looking at Dalton or Varsho, Kiermaier, Alejandro Kirk. Like these are pretty. Brandon Belt's a solid DH. Like the lineup's pretty solid 1 through 9. Cavan Biggio, but just got to put it together. And again, I think we've seen them kind of chug away. They did just coming off of a sweep of the Diamondbacks. We've seen them because they were closer to double digits away from Tampa Bay, and again they've brought it back. They're only 5.5 back. I think they're a team that can, for sure, will make the wild card. It's just going to be, can they push for that division title? And that's a pretty big title to win, man. That AL East is hands down the best division in baseball, 1 through 5. I mean, I would say the NL East is close, but they've got the Nationals dragging them down, and the Mets haven't been great. But yeah, I'm sticking with the Blue Jays. I think they're a team that a lot of us picked preseason to win that division. At least I think I did. I know I did. I don't remember what you guys had. I know I had Toronto.
But when Tampa Bay started the way they did, and Baltimore played the way they did the first half.
Right. I think a lot of us probably had Toronto or New York. So that's been kind of flipped on its head a little bit. But I've just got a few teams just to slide into this last part of just a little segment, buyers versus sellers. So I've got a list about 10 teams deep here. Some teams are, less than 10 back from their from the division crown. Some teams are a lot more than that, but have been expected to be better. Some teams I've got on here are still leading their division, but obviously we're talking about trying to make a push for a championship here as well, not just win your division. So I'm going to start off with a very close to home one. I'm going with the Chicago White Sox.
Sell almost everything.
Okay, I think we talked about it over the weekend on pretty much selling everything that's not named Luis, Cease, or Eloy.
Yeah.
Those 3. Maybe Vaughn as well. Andrew Vaughn as well.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Seattle, trade for Anderson.
TA can go, honestly.
If he can find that 300 hitting form again,
that'd be pretty sweet for them. I think there's a lot of teams that could use Lucas Giolito as well.
Yeah, he's been rumored a lot lately.
He's like 3.2 ERA. He's hands down our best pitcher this year. So there's some big names, big bats in our lineup too that can go and just get some teams some power. I agree with the sell, unfortunately, as much as it hurts to say it, but yeah, I agree with that. That's a good one. Next one I'm going with the St. Louis Cardinals. I think a lot of people hands down had them as a cut and dry competing with Milwaukee for the title, if not running away with the Central. So they're pretty bad, man. They're pretty bad.
Better lately.
They've been better lately.
Oh, they're 6-4 in their last 10.
They're again, they are benefactors again, kind of like the White Sox of being in the second worst division in baseball.
Yeah.
The two Central divisions are trash. As bad as they've been, they're only 12 under and 10 back. So
I will say, I think also sell, but mostly because of how their team is structured and less about their actual chances for the season. You have two guys who can warrant huge returns. Just kind of like, make these half pushes to kind of get to 500 and then lose out a little bit. And they'll hang on. They don't have too much more time to keep doing it, to keep yo-yoing.
oh God, no.
Yeah, like 2 weeks. But they got to make a decision. And I think if they're trying to think ahead as well, it would make more sense to get back some assets, because I don't think realistically they're not going to be making a push this year. So it makes sense to get some assets back for a guy like Goldschmidt, who, a contender would be paying as much as they could for.
Yeah.
So I think it just makes the most sense to get rid of them, stock up, and be able to retool and start making pushes to build something again for the next years, as opposed to, making some needless, move to add talent this year to then fall short because you're 10 games back, which in baseball isn't all that much. But to me, they're just too inconsistent, especially on both sides of the ball, to really warrant committing to getting better.
I think they should buy. That's my opinion. Pitching.
I'm gonna say
bullpen and starters.
I'm
Outside
going
of
to
Jordan
tell you,
Montgomery, that team pitching's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think they should add. A lot of guys bet like for this team are batting like in that 200, 250 range. And to me, they still got some of one of the best players, one of the greater players in the MLB and Paul and Goldie. And I think you don't want to waste any time with that. But I think they're just, and they got like young talent like Jordan Walker and everybody like that. But I think they need more pitching than anything. But like you were saying, they're so inconsistent on both sides. It's just the one thing that's consistent for them is hitting the ball. So I think for them adding and trying to see what can they do to add to the bullpen or defensively to help them, I think the Cardinals should be buyers this trade deadline.
I agree.
I just think they're too far out right now. If they were a little bit ahead of where they are, I'd say they should buy, because they could, but I just don't see them making a push, because they're just hot. They're streaky. They're hot and cold, even with these hitters. Like, I remember they had a stretch where they were not scoring more than 3 runs in a game. Right. And that don't matter how good or bad your pitching is. When you're not scoring, you're not going to win games. Right. Unless you're like 2010 Giants and you can win 1-0 all the time. So
I'm going by. I think the division's weak enough to slide in.
What's the point of just winning your division, right? And then getting bounced
gives you a
first
chance.
round?
Did the Phillies have a chance last year?
Well, damn.
Did the Braves have a chance 2 years ago with 89 wins?
Oh.
They were in the similar spot where the Cardinals are at right now, at the same time of the season. They made some moves at the deadline. They went fucking brazy. I'm just saying.
This Cardinals.
This lineup's fucking cracked still. On paper, this lineup's still cracked.
Yes, but
this lineup is still 8 to 9 a game. Just saying. They just don't. They need a spark. If they get a spark, they make a move. They get a spark. You never know. I'm not saying they're good. I still think they're performing terribly, but
they're
on paper,
but like
is crazy.
Yeah, but what C's just said, the benefit they have is playing in probably one of the worst divisions in baseball. So why not? Why not add a few pieces just so you could just sneak into the playoffs again and do damage? We watched them do that before,
dude. Exactly. Okay, fun one. The Mets.
Oof.
That's tough because they just bought.
They bought so much.
Yeah, stay pat. Can you say stay pat?
I agree with Isaac.
Yeah, it's too early to deal anyone that'd be worth.
I still think they get rid of Verlander. Scherzer, one's going to go.
Yeah, one of them leave her
to get a half decent return. That's my opinion, but I agree with.
There's been a lot of talk about them parting ways with the pitch. One of them.
I think staying pat and just kind of chalking it up to next year, making some more moves on the pitching side, and
you
because
should
the
get
lineup
Edwin
is
back
pretty
as
solid.
well.
Lineup's pretty
But
solid again.
whoever's closing for them, I can't remember his name, but that man's terrible.
They just can't fucking. I don't know, dude. They have their big names are just trash.
And even when like
they're all having down years at the same fucking time.
It was that like 2-3 week stretch where Lindor was hot as hell.
Yeah,
and it seemed like everyone around him too was just ice cold.
Because then at the start of the season, it was Nimmo batting 320. He's down to like 285, 290. Pete's never been great outside of hitting a dinger every other friggin' 3-4 games. I don't know. That team. I was curious just what you guys thought because I had no fucking idea what to do with them.
Yeah, they're a lost cause. I'd say right now.
And again, you're in a division that you're not going to win, so you got to get a wild card. But then you're so far out of that, so it's like
you're talking. I mean, they're talking.
I mean, we're talking about the Cardinals getting a wild card. They're technically 2 games up on the Cardinals, but the whole.
But at least the Cardinals got a chance to still in the West. Division.
2 teams in them, so there's 5-6 teams ahead of them already. 7 teams ahead of them already. So I don't know. Right, and that was a good point. The Cardinals can still at least win the division. Next team I had was an interesting one: the Houston Astros.
Stay back. I don't think there's a lot wrong.
I mean, there's a lot wrong, but they're all injuries.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's more injuries for them compared to like them not playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, Altuve's now he's on his second IL stint.
Yep.
They got their whole damn near entire pitching staff.
Jordan been on there a little bit.
Yep.
He's been on there for as long as Judge has been on there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would say just hold off. It happens. These type of years happen here and there for teams.
I would go get a starter.
Yeah.
And still try to make a run. Again, you're only 2 games out of the division right now. He's still or 3 games. 3 games out of the division. I think you can still win your division for how bad you've been.
Yeah.
And to still be only 3.5 out is pretty impressive to me. They're also a prime example again that, like we said with the Cardinals, the Astros are a team where they're built for the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
They've got experience. They've got back end bullpen. They really just need starters to get them 4 or 5 decent innings and not have it be out of proportion. So they're a postseason built team, especially the way Dusty Baker likes to coach. I think they buy a couple arms, get Jordan and Altuve back at the right time, and probably make another push. Honestly,
we already saw what happened the first time Altuve came back, and with the run they went on. So
both of those guys come back. And again, Framber Valdez is still there.
Yeah,
you've got Hunter Brown who's been pitching like. I mean, some games he's an ace, some games he looks like he's 22, 23, but
that's a lot of their guys.
Most pitchers in that age,
right. They've got a lot of big JP France as well. They've got a lot of guys like that are on the cusp. So
Javier hasn't been great, but he's still better than a lot of.
He still has it in his bag.
And he's still a lot better than a lot of the starters in the league.
Right. So that's a team to me. I agree with letting your guys get healthy. Go get me an arm or 2. They're a team that could use Lucas or a starter, a Scherzer, a Lucas Giolito, somebody like that.
Somebody who's playing well.
Stroman, oh my God.
And maybe they get that Verlander back.
Something like that. I was thinking that, but I don't think the Mets would do that. I think they'd keep Verlander instead of Scherzer.
You think?
Personally. Let's do 2 more. I want to go with same division, the Rangers.
Get some goddamn bullpen arms.
Exactly.
Get Andrew Haney out of that rotation.
No, you can have him in the rotation. You just got to be able to pull him after about 4 or 5, because every time he creeps into those 6 or 7s, he's blowing the lead.
Yeah, they definitely need bullpen arms. Back end bullpen arms.
Front end bullpen arms. They need a guy who can come
they're playing,
give him 2 innings when Haney's pitching.
Too well to let this season go to waste like this.
Oh yeah,
they need some arms.
Yeah,
they also need another starter. They're another team. I think a lot of teams need starters.
Yeah,
go pick from the bottom of the barrel and grab every team's best starter, put them on a competitive team, and let's have a good playoff run. That's what I would do. Because Evaldi's having a career year, John Gray's having a nice bounce back year. Just get them. They're really just missing DeGrom, and they'd be pretty perfect. But we know how that one worked out. Last team I'm running, I got a few down here, but let's go with San Diego Padres.
Sale. No, I'm just
oh
yeah, I think that's a sale. don't know, because I think for me, it's more of a problem for me for them.
But they just bought.
Yeah,
how can you sell when you just bought?
Because I think more of their problem, I think they'll be good next year. I think more of their problem is the rules. And that was after the beginning of the season. Because they even, like, Manny Machado and all even said it, like, it's going to be an adjustment. Like, I can't do the same thing. And I don't think any of them have made the adjustment yet outside of Tatis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Juan Soto's been a little inconsistent.
He had a lot of time to work on it.
Soto's been fine in it.
Soto's been fine, but then, like, Machado's, I feel like, has been a little bit inconsistent and non-existent in points.
Xander's having a pretty down year. Cronenworth's having the worst year of his career.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing. I think they can stay pat, but, like, if they're not adjusting, you got to sell it. You got to. And they just bought.
I mean, I've seen a lot of talk from Padres fans on like Twitter and social media in general. And one thing I've seen a lot of talk about is them trading Soto.
Oh my God.
They haven't signed him yet to that extension, that long-term extension. And a lot of them think he hasn't played up to the extension he's going to want.
That's fair.
So just get rid of him now, get assets back, because you don't want to pay him in the offseason.
Will Shohei Ohtani flop?
That would make me hurt myself.
That'll make me hurt myself.
They're tough, man, because they're both. I feel like
their pitchers have been. Snell's been one of the best pitchers since May 25th.
They're decent.
They're the best pitcher since May 25th. Musgrove over the last month and a half has been really, really good as well. So
Darvish has been pretty solid.
Yeah,
he hasn't been like.
He hasn't been the ace
Rangers
he was
Darvish, even Cubs 1 year Darvish.
Yeah, but he's definitely not. You're happy with him in your rotation.
Yeah, you're happy
you're
with him going. You're number 3, right?
You're very happy. I would love to have him as our number 3 instead of watching Disco give up 2-run bombs every couple innings. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think their moves again they'd be making moves thinking that kind of same route of like, okay, we have this now, but we have this problem approaching in the future. Okay. So that's, I think, where their major moves would come. Because I can't see any major moves that they could make right now that makes sense.
Like,
I just have a
line.
problem with the lineup being the fact that Tatis is probably your best hitter, and then like fucking Trent Grisham's your second best hitter. Like, I mean, that should be.
If they could only hit against
they're in that Seattle realm,
Machado would be MVP already. But
yeah, like they in that Seattle realm where they best players just not showing up right now. Like, not at all. Like, they're just non-existent. Like, you can stand pat, but like V was saying, it's just another issue that's gonna come later in the future for them. Like, I don't think they're gonna make any.
They're built to make a run next year or the year after.
Yeah.
So
but
it's tough. You might as well try to patch something while you have the opportunity to, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Them and the Mets were flexing. So because again, there's
and the Yankees too. All these teams that have been spending a lot.
Yankees was the team I passed over. I had it on the list.
That over the recent years have been spending a ton of money.
All right, let's do the Yankees. Buyers or sellers? Last one.
Depends on if Judge can come back or not. If Judge comes back, you want to buy and help him out. If you want to hold him out, sell.
Yep.
But I don't know what they'd be selling and what they'd want to get back. Because
I mean, outside of
somehow,
what's an asset? Gleyber Torres.
I was gonna say somehow Gleyber's their like second or third best hitter.
Gleyber Torres,
and then you got Rizzo,
who ain't hit a home run since
It's so bad.
I had Harold last time he hit a home run.
He probably did. He was in a Cubs home run. He was in a Cubs uniform the last time he hit a home run.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
God. Do you remember that all those ex-Cubs players all hit home runs with their first game, like their new teams?
Yeah, that shit was sad for them.
That was great for me. I watched Chris Bryant hit a home run for us. Yeah, their pitching's pretty bad. I'll say Garrett Cole. Honestly,
I just think Nestor hasn't been great. He's actually hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt now, but he wasn't.
Rodon hasn't been great since he's come back.
He's only had 2 starts, I think, right? 3 now.
Sevy hasn't been great since he came back. I mean, Domingo Germán sprinkled the perfect game amidst fucking 6 earned runs every game. So they're just a fucking train wreck to me. Honestly, I'm down for them to sell, but I am in the boat where it's like outside of Gleyber and maybe Sevy, like they don't have much to sell.
Yeah, and it's like if you do sell those guys, you're not even getting that much of a return back.
Right? Yeah. What do you get? A supplemental draft pick?
So yeah, they're in a pickle. I think it just shows baseball's not a team where you can just like as much as it
seems
seems that baseball is a sport where you really could just throw talent together and make it work. Like there's a lot more to it when it comes to culture and management, lineups, rotations, all that.
Yeah, guys got to get hot at the same time at the right time.
Well, you see a lot of these, the Braves, right? A lot of these guys have been there for a while. They've been building this, putting this together.
The Braves are downright disrespectful.
They got rid of Freddie Freeman and are still the best team in baseball. Like there's not many teams that can do that.
No.
No.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have Freddie Freeman? Well, here's Matt Olson.
But yeah, I think.
Oh, thank you, Oakland. Now go move to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think baseball is gonna. I think this whole buyers thing is gonna have.
Dude,
a short
I'm
life.
excited because I said, there's a lot of teams that I think are gonna do things that we're not expecting.
I think a lot of teams are gonna be going for relief pitching. A lot of the top teams.
Relief. I think just pitching.
The Braves. I
starters.
see the Braves going for relievers. I see
relievers. They do.
I see the Rays going for relievers and starters. I see the Rangers going for
y'all are knocking all the teams that I passed up on my list. I had the Cubs that I passed up, but I did write them down, and the Yankees that I wrote down but passed on.
Yeah, I think they're gonna make some moves, bro.
I'm excited. I think they're gonna sell, unfortunately.
Oh my Lord.
We're gonna jump in to the outro. Daniel's son. Unfortunately, Danny's not here, so we always have a choppy outro. But let's run it. Thank you all for watching. This has been the We Got Action podcast. We did run a little longer. I told you all we would. I told you all we would have some talk, that free agent talk. We always get into. The NBA gets us, man. Those are always the long ones. But thank you all for watching. This has been episode 55 of the We Got Action podcast. Make sure y'all go show some love. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere y'all get your podcast. Go look at that as well. Again, just a little future. Next week we will be talking some trade deadline talk. Again, we talked about some teams who should buy, talked about some MLB teams who should sell. Who do we think's making a run? Next week we'll do a little more in depth on some guys.
We'll start getting some more reports.
Are going to actually move.
Some
specific teams should actually go and look to find. And then again, we'll have another top 10 position list for the NFL. Should have the full squad back. Yeah, receivers. Get them mitts out. Hopefully we should have the full squad back next week. Have all four of us back. Another episode 56, basically. But yeah, that's been the episode, man. Much love. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll catch y'all again. Same time next week.
Later.
Bye.